Look at a star. A star is a great burst of fire. See? Well, the question is how far to go. The fire goes out and out and out and out and out, and then suddenly it begins to fade, the energy falls away, and there's darkness. Unless something is there to reflect the more tenuous form of the fire, which is light, that is being thrown out to immense distances. But eventually light gives up. And that's why some of the furthest galaxies are beginning to disappear, because it's too far for the light. It gives up eventually. Because if there isn't a point, you see, where the light gives up, or the radiance gives up, it fills everything, and therefore has no way of realizing itself. Because you can only realize light by the contrast of darkness. And that's why, then, you, as a ray which shoots out of the Godhead, will say, are we going to make it? In other words, how long a ray are you going to be? It'll be a long, long ray or a little short one. And some people think, well, if I'm only a short ray, it's not really a great success. I want to be a long ray. I want to live till I'm 90, or maybe 100, get longer and longer. But then you must listen to the Zen poem which says, in the spring, in the scenery of spring, there is nothing superior, nothing inferior. Flowering branches grow naturally, some short, some long. And when one of the great Zen masters was asked about the meaning of Buddhism, he said to the inquirer, wait till there's no one around and I'll tell you. And when there was no one around, he took this inquirer out into the garden and pointed at the bamboos. And the inquirer said, I don't understand. And he said, what a long bamboo that one is. What a short one that is. That was all. So what a long ray that one is. What a short one that is. See, if you look at some sort of stellar form object, it adds great interest to it if its rays are of unequal length. If they're all equal, it looks sort of flat and mechanical. But by having all sorts of different lengths, as you find them in some of those gorgeous radiolaria creatures that are minute animalcules of the ocean, you see all these, there's a certain balance of length, there's a certain average which gives it a globular form, but many different lengths in the stems. So you see, are we going to make it? How far out can you get? This is always the question. But then you're not going to make it at a certain point. The ray finishes, and we call that death. But you are actually not the ray so much as the source of the ray. That's where you are really. And the source doesn't vanish. You see, the source is there always. But it's shooting out, shooting out, shooting out, and then vanishing. So then, if you remember, therefore, that at every stage of the universe, whether you are up there with the gods, or whether you are down there with the, what we could call human refuse, you are basically in the same situation. Because everybody is basically in the same situation for the reason that everybody is basically the divine being, working out the panorama of its life in myriads of different ways. And these differences of ways require spectra of many kinds. There's the spectrum of color. There's the spectrum of tones. But there is also the spectrum of orders of beings.